Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be updating you guys on all of the latest polls in every single state as of right now. Make sure to go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and make sure to drop a comment down below. And so to save you guys time, I'm actually going to be filling out the safe Republican and Democrat states, not in the usual sense, but states that I have forecasted that are very safe victories for either party that I really doubt are going to go to the opposite party this cycle. Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, as well as the Dakotas, Nebraska's 3rd district, as well as the 1st district and the at-large vote, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia are all going to go in the Trump column, including Alaska and South Carolina. As for the Democrats, I don't expect California, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, Illinois, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, or the District of Columbia, as well as Maine's 1st congressional district or Hawaii to go to the opposite party. I also don't expect Iowa, Ohio to either go to the Democrats as well, neither Maine's 2nd congressional district, which leaves us with a couple of states to look at the latest poll to give us a general idea of where the election is right now. These are not my official ratings for these safe Republican or Democrat states, as there are actually way less safe Democrat states in my latest forecast. But to save you guys time, I'm going to be going over all of the states that are left in blank. The first state we have is the state of Nevada, where Donald Trump is actually leading by 3 points in the latest poll. We can see that this is a poll from Breaking Battlegrounds, which has Donald Trump up 3 points in a head-to-head matchup, and with third-party candidates included, he's also up by 3 percentage points. As of right now, this is a likely voter sample with around 600 voters, which tends to be a pretty good sample size compared to the rest of these polls. And so we're going to be putting this in the lean Republican column for Donald Trump. This is a state that voted for Joe Biden by 2.4 percentage points in the last cycle. However, with Hispanic, African American, and white working class voters shifting to the right this cycle, we're going to see a huge shift in Nevada, and I think a lean margin of victory for Nevada in 2024 could be very possible as of right now. The next state's going to be the state of Arizona, a state that Joe Biden won by 0.3 percentage points the last cycle. You can see Donald Trump is up almost 5 points in the national aggregate. The latest poll from FAU, with third-party candidates included, has Donald Trump up 4 points with likely voters as of right now. And so we're going to be putting that in the lean Republican column as of right now. This is a state that voted for Biden last cycle, like I previously mentioned, and has been trending to the Democrats. But with Donald Trump improving with Hispanics this cycle, I could see a lean margin of victory in Arizona be very possible as of right now. New Mexico is the next state we're going to be looking at. Not a lot of new polling data out of here, but what we are going to do is we're actually going to look at the Kennedy matchups, because we have Biden at 41% and Trump at 36%. And since all of the other polling data is over almost an entire year old, we're just going to be going based off of the latest April polls with Kennedy in them. 41 to 36 would be a +5 poll for Biden. So that goes in the likely Democrat column for the incumbent president. This state voted for Biden by 10 points in 2020. So this likely categorization of only 5 points would cut his margin in half from the previous cycle. This could be due to Hispanic voters shifting to the Republican Party. And I'm actually really curious to see, new polling data out of the state, as I do think it is going to be a lot more competitive than the other polls that have been released from last year. The next state's going to be the state of Texas, where Donald Trump enjoys a very comfortable lead in the polling aggregate. He's ahead by 11.1 percentage points. And in the latest poll, he is up around 9 points with third-party candidates included. So that's going to put the state in the likely Republican column. This would be a 4-point improvement from the 2020 cycle and would show trends with Hispanic voters moving to the right, but with white suburbanites possibly moving to the left in this state. Currently, I have the forecast as a 15-point victory for Donald Trump in the state of Texas as of right now. And so I wouldn't be shocked to see a victory of a +9 in the state of Texas as of right now. The next state we're going to be looking at is the state of Florida, where Donald Trump enjoys a very large lead. Unlike last cycle, he was actually down in the aggregate. Right now, he is up in the state of Florida as much as he's in by Texas, which is absolutely insane. And the latest poll from CBS News has Donald Trump up 13 points with basically only Stein included in the latest poll. And so that's going to put the state in the likely Republican column for the former president. Right now, my forecast has it as a 15-point victory. So this poll is not that off from my official forecast. This state was only a 3-point win for the former president in the last cycle. And Donald Trump seems to be trending the state to the right. And Republican voter registration has improved here. In 2020, Democrats had around an 80,000 voter registration advantage on Republicans. Now Republicans have an 850,000 voter registration advantage on Democrats. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a double-digit victory for Donald Trump in the state of Florida. The next state we're going to be looking at is the state of Virginia, where the polls have actually tightened up quite significantly. The latest poll actually has the state tied as of right now with a head-to-head matchup, but with third-party candidates included. Biden is ahead by 2 percentage points. That's going to put the state of Virginia in the lean Democrat column for this video, which is pretty interesting because this is a state that voted for Biden by 10 percentage points in the last cycle. And you can see now it's only a plus 2 percentage point victory. And all the polls had this at a 15, 16-point win, 18-point win. You barely saw any polls in 2020 with the state under 15 points. And so the fact that there is a plus 2 poll out of the state is very worrisome for the Biden campaign. And I definitely expect the campaign to start spending resources here as of right now. The next state we're going to be looking at is the state of New Hampshire, where Donald Trump has actually enjoyed a narrowing of polls. We can see in the latest poll, with all third-party candidates included, Biden's only ahead by 3 percentage points. This is a state that Biden won by a pretty large amount. He won this state by around, 7 points last time around. So if he only wins it by 3, that would definitely be a huge shift. Definitely a lot of the white working class voters in the state of New Hampshire, as well as possibly some libertarians, would possibly be shifting the state to the left. However, I do expect the state to be really close. Right now, my forecast has it as a tilt state for Donald Trump as of right now. And for Maine at large, which is going to be a very interesting characterization, we're going to see that right now Trump is actually up 6 points in the latest poll, with Biden only up 8 in Maine's first, as well as Trump winning by 20 in the congressional district. So we're actually going to move Maine's first into the likely Democrat column, and we're going to be putting a Maine at large in the likely Republican column, which would be a pretty interesting result. I mean, if third-party candidates really eat up the vote here, I wouldn't be surprised to see Donald Trump win it by a likely margin. Right now, my forecast actually has it as lean Democrat. My forecast has white voters possibly moving to the left just ever so slightly, are at least trending to the left. And so Maine at large has a very rural white population. So I wouldn't be surprised if the state still stays Democrat. But according to the latest poll, it is a likely margin for Donald Trump as of right now. And in the state of North Carolina, we can see that Donald Trump is enjoying a humongous lead in the latest poll with third-party candidates. He's up 12 points with third-party candidates. This is a state that he won by a little bit over a point last cycle. So this would be a humongous shift in the state of North Carolina. This would be a huge shift here, and it would be a historic performance for former President Donald Trump. If we look at the state of Georgia, we're going to see Donald Trump is improving in polling data here. In the latest poll, however, which is from the Cook Political Report, we're not going to be using a, super PAC poll for this. The latest unaffiliated poll has Donald Trump up by 4 percentage points in the state, with Kennedy included. And so that's going to put the state in the lean Republican column. I wouldn't be surprised to see Donald Trump pick off the state. Biden barely won it last time with a ridiculously high African American turnout and everything going right for him. I expect Atlanta African American turnout to drop. I think Trump is going to possibly gain a lot of those voters. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see the state of Georgia possibly flip into his column. And Nebraska's second. The latest poll out of there actually has a +5 lead for Biden. in the second congressional district. And so we're going to be putting that in the likely Democrat column. As of right now, however, I do expect this district to actually go likely Republican. My forecast has Donald Trump winning an electoral college landslide, but we are going over the latest polls in this video. We can see Maine at large is likely Republican, which gives Donald Trump the victory in the electoral college with just the Sun Belt alone. He doesn't even pick off the Rust Belt states in this video, and he's already winning 270 electoral college votes. We can see in the next poll, Minnesota is interesting because the polling aggregate had Biden winning by quite a bit. Right now, he's only up 2 points in the aggregate. The latest poll has Biden only up 2 points in the state. This same poll had Biden up by around 10 or 11 points last cycle, and Biden only won it by about 7 percentage points. And so this is going to be a very interesting development. A slight polling error could give Donald Trump the state of Minnesota as of right now. And so Wisconsin is an interesting one because in the latest poll, if we can actually pull it up right now, we're going to see that Donald Trump is actually tied in the Democrat Super PAC poll, but with a head-to-head matchup with all third-party candidates in the latest unaffiliated poll, we see Donald Trump is ahead of by a single percentage point in the state of Wisconsin as of right now, which would give him 280 electoral college votes. This was a state that voted for Biden barely in 2020, voted for Trump narrowly in 2016, and in a competitive race, I'd expect this to be close again. However, my latest forecast has it as a +8 state for the former president. Just looking at Donald Trump leading the RCP aggregate, the swings and trends, and as well as Biden's unpopularity, I expect Biden to perform way worse than this electoral college result actually shows. Michigan, as of right now, in the latest polling, Donald Trump leads the aggregate ever so slightly as of right now by 0.9. He's actually regaining his lead in the polls. And right now, in the latest poll from Michigan Information and Research Service with third-party candidates, he is also up by a single percentage point in the state of Michigan as of right now, which gives him a lean margin of victory in the state of Michigan. This is a state Biden basically won by 3, so this would be a very impressive flip on the map as of right now. And if we go to Pennsylvania, the final state on here, Donald Trump enjoys a 2-point lead in the aggregate. In the latest unaffiliated poll, Donald Trump wins by 3 with third-party candidates included, which gives him a lean margin of victory in the state of Pennsylvania. And so for the final electoral vote count, Donald Trump is at 314 electoral college votes to Joe Biden's 224 electoral college votes. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure to go ahead and follow the Twitter and join the Discord server in the description below. And I will see you guys very, very soon.